Another fascinating guitar player from the blues rock era is the great Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin. Born in 1944, Jimmy played skiffle music as a teenager, and he was intrigued by rockabilly greatly by the guitar playing of Scotty Moore with Elvis Presley, James Burton with Rick Nelson, and Cliff Gallup with Gene Vincent and the Blue Caps. His other favorite guitar player was jazz great Les Paul, and Les's recordings, which featured a lot of overdubbing and guitar effects, had a great impact on Jimmy Page, and you can hear some of those things in his recordings later on when he formed Led Zeppelin. He had a great interest as well in ethnic music, one of the first guitar players to pull from Celtic folk and Arabian music and Indian music and somehow combine that with the blues influences of guys like Otis Rush, Freddie King, B.B. King, Robert Johnson, and slide guitar players like Elmore James. And when you put all that together, you've got a musician that has great depth and many different facets to his musical personality. In the mid to late 60s, Jimmy left lucrative session work as a session guitar player to join his good friend Jeff Beck in the band the Yardbirds. At first he played bass, pretty soon moved on to guitar, and the two of them played guitar together, and that was documented in the 60s classic cult film Blow Up. When the Yardbirds dissolved, he formed a band that he initially called the New Yardbirds, which in fact was Led Zeppelin. And Zeppelin, of course, would go on to become one of the most influential rock bands of all time. Jimmy Page's guitar playing displays many of the same signature elements as Eric Clapton, but he forged a distinct sound that was all his own. Though he doesn't display the same sort of virtuosity or touch of somebody like Clapton, he does have great feeling and fiery intensity in all of his guitar solos. Great examples are the solos that he plays on Good Times, Bad Times, Since I've Been Loving You, and of course the incredible Stairway to Heaven. He relies primarily on standard blues scales and positions, but he's known for throwing in odd intervals or strange phrases which then lend his playing its own distinct flavor. He cut his early Zeppelin records with a Telecaster, but he became better known for using a Les Paul. He had a 59 Les Paul, Sunburst Standard, and he's also certainly well known for his double neck 1275 Gibson guitar that has a 12-string neck on top and a 6-string neck on the bottom. And live, he would use that guitar for Stairway to Heaven and also for The Song Remains the Same. Jimmy favors light gauge strings, usually using 9s and 10s, and although he's often seen with Marshall amplifiers, if you look at all the footage from Led Zeppelin from the early days, that's what you see. But he also used some unusual Rickenbacker amplifiers and orange amplifiers, and just about any amplifier, Supros. Jimmy really used everything to attain different textures and different sounds. And also, like a lot of the British blues guitar players in the early 60s, he used a tone bender distortion pedal. A great example of Jimmy Page is taking what came before and pushing rock and blues rock music toward proto-metal is the song Good Times, Bad Times, a really hard-driving rock song in the key of E. In this next example, Jimmy's solos are based on E minor pentatonic and are played in that style.